Hi everybody, this is part 2 of an Introduction to Linguistics series aiming to introduce applied linguistics. Um, the applied linguistics series. Now, I left off in part 1 in this slide. I was talking about the practicality of getting a degree in applied linguistics. The practicality is to do with jobs, of course. That's one thing, an important thing, because jobs are something that is important, an important part of life. There are many opportunities for work if you get a degree in applied linguistics, like teaching, like doing speech therapy, as you said last time, or doing further research and getting a PhD in applied linguistics and becoming a scholar, an academic in applied linguistics. Okay. Now we move to the next slide, which talks about what is applied linguistics. Now, David Crystal in 1992 defines applied linguistics as the use of linguistic theories, methods, and findings, and elucidating, meaning in making clear, and solving problems to do with language which have arisen in other areas of experience. The domain of applied linguistics is extremely wide and includes foreign language learning and teaching, language disorders, translation and interpretation, lexicography, style, forensic speech analysis, and the teaching of reading. Of course, now, as we know, David Crystal is a celebrity in linguistics. He's one of the most famous linguists, English linguists alive. He has his son, Ben Crystal, a theater actor, and also an expert of some sort on early modern English, Shakespearean English. Okay, so David Crystal defines applied linguistics as the use of linguistic theories, methods, and findings in elucidating and solving problems to do with language which have arisen in other areas of experience. So in applied linguistics, we use the theories that came about through research in linguistics, in the field of linguistics, and we use them to solve problems in the real world. And the example that is given a lot is the example of speech impediment and how we use the tools of linguistics, and after that applied linguistics as tools to help us do therapeutic work and solve the issue of this speech impediment. Now, there is a great movie I would invite you to watch. It's called The King's Speech, where it is the story. It's a historical, dramatical portrayal of the story of a king of Great Britain that had a hard time speaking fluently. He was having difficulties enunciating and making himself understood. And a speech therapist came and he started helping this person to overcome his problem. And one of the things that we use in speech therapy is the IPA. Now, this is very important because the IPA is here. The IPA is one of the is part of linguistics. Specifically, it's part of phonetics. But when it is used to solve a problem in the real world, in this case a speech impediment, then it is part of applied linguistics because it is being applied. It is being used in the real world to solve a problem in the real world. And of course, there are many other examples of how linguistic theories and linguistic findings can be used in the field of applied linguistics to solve real-world problems. For example, we can say with phonetics, the IPA itself, again, in the domain of speech recognition, we have computers understanding human language and producing human language. Now, that is only possible if the computers know that speech is divided into segments called phones, or sounds, and they need to know the physical characteristics of each sound, That's where that's where the theory is developed in the field of phonetics, specifically findings that came to us from working with spectrograms and using spectrographic analysis, that is applied to teach computers how to understand and produce human language. And of course, speech recognition software is developed by the use of many people come to create the software, not only linguists, they bring in linguists, of course, and computer scientists, mathematicians, and I think also philosophers, scientists, and so on. But, linguists are there, specifically applied linguists who know how to apply the theories in the real world. Now, the second sentence says that the domain of applied linguistics is extremely wide and includes foreign language learning and teaching. This is what concerns us the most, since we are doing applied linguistics and English language teaching. But these areas also are of some concern, but this is the main one, since this is the most practical in our case, since we are geared to become mostly professors and teachers. So this is it. But also there is language disorders, as I said, stuttering, speech impediments, aphasias, Broca's aphasia, Wernicke's aphasia. We studied this in psycholinguistics and general linguistics. Translation and interpretation. This can be human translation and also computer translation. Software like Google Translate is possible because of applied linguistics, because of the application of the theories specifically of phonetics and phonology to teach computer programs how, of course, teach between quotation marks, because they don't learn the same way exactly as human beings do, but in a sense they learn. And of course, interpretation is a kind of translation, but it's kind of different because it happens in real time, whereas translation happens after the fact. Lexicography, which is the study of words, and lexicography is the study of the making and the writing of dictionaries. Stylistics. Here, stylistics is a branch of applied linguistics. We studied that, I think, in S5. Forensic speech analysis, where here we use the tools of theories of linguistics to solve crimes, to decide whether someone is guilty or not by analyzing their speech, by analyzing words, sounds, pronunciation, accents, and stuff like that. So this is it. When you take the theories of linguistics and apply them to solve real-world problems like language teaching, learning, language disorders, translation, lexicography, stylistics, forensic speech analysis, and the teaching of reading, then you're doing applied linguistics. And that's it. And applied linguistics cannot be possible without linguistics. It builds on linguistics. The same way as applied philosophy is not possible if there is no philosophy, if there is no solid theoretical, theory of philosophy. We move to the next slide, and we have here Guy Cook has defined the term applied linguistics as the academic discipline concerned with the relation of knowledge about language to decision-making in the real world. On the basis of this definition, Cook goes on, then we can say that applied linguistics sets out to investigate problems in the real world in which language is implicated, as we saw, and both educational and social problems. Social problems like crimes, as we saw, forensic speech analysis, the one before last. Education has to do with the teaching of reading and foreign language learning and teaching. Kaplan also defines applied linguistics in similar terms. He defines applied linguistics as a practice-driven discipline that addresses language-based problems in real-world contexts. So it's more practical than theoretical linguistics. Now, he, meaning Kaplan, further tries to reject the criticisms concerning. So